Ladies and gentlemen, council, I'm going to call this meeting to order. I have an agenda before us. Is there any additions or deletions?
Mr. Chair, from administration, proposed delegation from the agenda under 5, deletion, 5.2, 10 a.m., Bonneville Beef 4-H Club won't be joining us today.
Okay, anything else? All right, thank you for making that. I guess we probably need to make a motion first to deletion, or do we make the motion first for the agenda? Go ahead.
It's me, Mr. Reeve. We'd make the motion first for the agenda.
Okay. Looking for a motion to adopt the amended agenda. Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making that motion. I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. Now I'm looking for a motion to delete the 4-H, Bonneville 4-H. Thank you. Councillor Deschênes makes this motion that council approves the adoption of the agenda with the following deletions under 5 delegations, the 10 a.m. Bonneville Beef 4-H Club. Any discussion on this, council? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. Let's go to development application 7.1. Oh, I'm sorry. I need the adoption of the minutes. We're going to back up there. We need the adoption of the minutes 3.1 of regular meeting of council, February 24th, 2026. Apologize for that, council. All right, thank you, Councillor Crick. One second, I'm going to turn you on there, Mr. Deschênes. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Reeve, thank you. I would like to, I have a motion arising from the February 10th, I believe, meeting.
Yes.
An error in the records of a motion that was made. I didn't make the motion. Josh, Councillor Crick made the motion, and I on number 26.075. Can I get that corrected, please?
Okay. That's just a simple typing into the minutes, correct? Or do we need to make a motion on that? I've never done one of these before.
There will be a motion, yes.
Okay. All right, would you like to make that motion, Councillor Deschênes?
Yes, I would like to make that motion. To amend the minutes to correct the mover of the resolution number 26.075 from myself to Councillor Crick.
All right, thank you, Councillor Deschênes, for making this motion that the council approves the following amendment to February 10th, 2026 regular meeting of council minutes for resolution number 26.075, replace,
Hey, Mr.
moved
Reeve?
by, sorry?
We just need one moment, please. There's an issue with the motion.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah. There is a motion on the floor up here, and it needs to be voted on.
Oh, I see, okay. That's like 2.5 strikes on me today already. All right, any, I don't, is his name up there? Okay, any discussion on Councillor, yeah, you got some discussion, go ahead.
So is this errors in the minutes that you noticed that I've made a motion to approve already?
Excuse me, through the roof, we need to clear this motion that's
Yeah.
on the floor.
But you wanted to make a change to these minutes that we're voting on right now?
No, his changes for February 10th minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No discussion then.
All right, thank you.
February 10th?
Any other discussion? I'm seeing none, I'll call for the vote.
Okay. Excuse me.
All those in favor? Okay, carried.
Came up?
Okay, I already read this, so any discussion on this?
Yeah.
Yes, one
Sorry.
sec, go ahead.
I just got a 26-0. I just want to look at it first before I see
All right.
what's being said there. Oh, yeah. No, that sounds good. It was just, I made the motion to table it, so that makes
Yep.
sense, yeah. Good
They
catch.
just made a typing error and they put Ed's, is that correct, Mr. DeShane?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on this motion? I'm not seeing any, I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. All right, now we're going to 7.1 development application.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is development permit application 2026-D-021 for Shea Hatch. The applicant is applying for a secondary suite addition to their existing dwelling. The property is located in the hamlet of Cherry Grove. Adjacent properties are hamlet residential parcels and the former rail line parcel. The applicant would like to construct a secondary suite onto their attached garage. The suite will contain one bedroom, a bathroom, and a living/kitchen area with 2 covered decks for a total size of 515 square feet. This complies with Section 59 of the Land Use Bylaw for secondary suites. This is being reviewed under Bylaw 1667 as the application was received before the new Land Use Bylaw was adopted. Adjacent landowner letters were sent out on February 18th, 2026, and we did not receive any concerns. Recommendation for development application number 2026-D-021 is approve the request for a secondary suite addition to dwelling as a second discretionary use as per Part 6, Section 59, and Part 7, Section 77.4 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions. Applicable building, electrical, gas, plumbing, and sewer permits are required as per the Alberta Safety Codes Act. Building waste materials shall be contained on-site in a waste bin or a covered/enclosed trailer. As per Section 77.4 of the Land Use Bylaw number 1667, the minimum setback shall be front yard 7.6 meters, side yard 1.5 meters, rear yard 7.6 meters, and building maximum height 7 meters for accessory buildings. The suite shall be accessory use to the principal dwelling, and as per Section 59 of the Land Use Bylaw number 1667, the suite shall have a minimum floor area of 500 square feet. The suite shall have a maximum area of 1,076 square feet. The suite can contain up to 4 rooms and comply with Alberta Building Code and any provincial regulations. Any questions?
Doesn't look like it, thank you. All right, just looking for a motion.
I'll go for the recommended action, please.
All right, thank you, Deputy Reeve Fideo, for making this motion. The council approves development permit application number 2026-D-02 for a secondary suite addition to dwelling on Plan 0122823, Block 2, Lot 8, within South East 1662-1, west of the 4th M, as discretionary pursuant to Part 6, Section 59, and Part 7, Section 77.4 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions before you, council. Any discussion on this motion? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm happy to see these kind of permits come out here. It's, taking care of our family members. Instead of, sending them to a home or anything like that, they're taking care of their own. And it's always great for them and for the whole family. So it's great to see this. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
On to subdivision applications. Morning.
Administration is presenting subdivision application 2026-S-001 for council's consideration. This application proposes one 20-acre parcel from agricultural quarter section southeast to 62-9 west of the 4th meridian as shown on the map in Appendix A. Notification of the proposed subdivision was sent to referral agencies and adjacent landowners with a deadline of February 8th to submit concerns to be considered at today's council meeting. No concerns have been received regarding this application. The subject site is located approximately 3.25 kilometers east of Highway 881, north of Township Road 620. The application complies with the Municipal Government Act, Subdivision and Development Regulation, Lower Athabasca Regional Plan, the Municipal Development Plan, and the municipality's land use bylaw. Therefore, it is recommended that the proposed subdivision be approved.
Thank you. Someone like to make a motion? Yes, Councillor Palmer? Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making that motion. The council approves subdivision application number 2026S001 to subdivide one 20-acre parcel from agricultural quarter section southeast to 62-9 west of the 4th meridian for Harold Ross as per following conditions before you, council. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Thanks, ladies. On to 9.2, 9.2.14. Oh, sorry, Councillor Deschênes, did you have something?
Just wanted to make a comment on in the wording of the application, we have to list the Lower Athabasca sub-regional plan as part of our planning. I'm just wondering why that has come into play in our agricultural land. Is that a provincial thing that came in for ruling?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask, maybe ask one of the staff after.
Can bring them back up.
Already?
You want to know?
No, I'll ask later when we
Okay.
got more time. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Sorry I didn't see you on the screen there, Mr. Deschênes. Morning.
Good morning, Raven Council. At the regular meeting of council on February 24th, a delegation was made by the Four Wing Cold Lake presenting a request for financial support for the upcoming Cold Lake Air Show on July 18th and 19th. As we reviewed the package and our historical sponsorship within the packages, and just knowing our need for the Wing Commander VIP tent and dinners, as we may have dignitaries coming up for that event. We are looking at the $50,000 safety package, which was in the attachment, which includes the Silver Chalet package, which includes 30 people in the shared VIP tent for one day or 15 people spread across both days, programs, and commemorative coins. With reference to our strategic plan, it's building a prosperous and sustainable community. The cost and source of costing would be the $50,000 plus $2,500 GST. The source of funding would be through council's giving budget. Administration's action is that council approves the request for Four Wing Cold Lake for funding support for the 2026 Cold Lake Air Show for the amount of $50,000 plus GST as its named this year, safety sponsor, coming out of council giving budget.
Okay, thank you. Anyone like to make a motion or any comments on this? That's the same what we did last year, correct?
In 2024, yes.
Yeah,
correct.
sorry, 2 years. It's
Yeah.
every 2 years. I apologize. Yes, Councillor Crick.
Sorry, my computer's not working. I can't seem to open up the attachment there. How many tickets to the VIP tent does he end up giving us?
So the package includes 6 people on the VIP tour and then 4 tickets for the Wing Commander's VIP tent and dinner. But also, we do get a silver level package, which includes shared VIP chalet, 30 people for 1 day or 15 over both days.
Okay, because I thought there was an option we could go with, I can't open it to see it here, but I thought there was an option we could go.
You'll have to get out of it and go back into it, it's been glitching out. I've done the same thing 3 times too, so.
I thought from earlier, I thought there was an option that we, for like 15,000 where we could get 60 people in the tent, 30 each day.
Through to Councillor Crick, that is correct, but it doesn't include any of the commander's tent or dinner. And with the dignitaries that are potentially coming through, we see the value in that, and talking with the presenters of that gave us the presentation on the 24th, they aren't, there's no appetite to allow us to purchase additional tickets unless we buy one of the sponsorship packages.
Okay.
Did you get yours up? Okay.
So, through to Reeve. So is that, like I managed to pull mine up here, so yeah, gold package at 15,000 gives us the VIP chalet, but what you're saying is that we would not have the option of purchasing the dinner tickets separately, is
Yeah,
that correct?
through to Councillor Malia, that is correct.
And there's no chance of buying two sets of VIP. It's just not the way it goes, right? Our hands are tied.
If we want to attend the dinner, we have to do a sponsorship package.
Right.
And we can add, if numbers say that we need those additional numbers, we can add another package on. But in order to get to the VIP dinner, we have to do a sponsorship package.
Okay. Someone like to make a motion or more discussion? Are you up and going there? Anyone? $50,000 package, the same as the one we did 2 years ago. You're up and running there yet? Joe? No? Anybody else having problems? How come this side, there's no problems, and this side it's? Councillor
I
Malia?
think in looking through this, I mean, I think from some other discussion over the last few days, that, yeah, I mean, the VIP chalet and the dinner and the tour part is nice, but the advertising was something that we didn't really feel was necessarily value for dollar. Yeah, I was hoping that we'd be able to do the other option for significantly less. So just, does anybody have any comment, if you're able to get in, on whether one of the cheaper packages, like below the 50,000, there's also a 37.5 and a 25,000, but they would come with less tickets for our dignitaries to attend the dinner.
Counselor Kalup.
Do we
and
know how
then
many
Counselor Crick.
dignitaries are coming down?
We don't, not this time, yeah. Do you know any numbers?
Yeah, we kind of wanted to wait before we secured something. As of right now, there's probably about 6 coming right now.
I'm noticed.
Counselor Crick.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, thank you, Reeve. Just to the rest of council, like, does council think it's a big deal if we have the wing commander's dinner, or maybe just the tent is enough? Where there, we can talk to the dignitaries, the ministers to come then anyways.
The tent's not an option, just going with the gold package like we thought at first.
Yeah.
You have to be a bigger sponsor for that. So we thought of just getting the gold tent, going with 30 and 30. And that's not, according to our guys here, that's not an option at all.
Oh, I thought.
Basically, it's their game, and they don't wanna, they wanna sell you more stuff to pay for the air show. It costs a lot of money to put these things together, and,
Can we get clarification on that?
pardon me?
I was just looking for clarification.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
so,
ask
so
him.
what you seem to be saying is that the gold package would only be available as an add-on? Or can we buy the gold package by itself?
Yeah, through to Councilor Malia, yes, we can buy the gold package. What we were told yesterday is if we were to buy one of the gold, silver packages, all the tickets are sold for Saturday now, so we'd have to utilize those tickets on Sunday. They were gonna look into it for us to see if they could make availability for Saturday, if we were to purchase this, but there was no commitment of them making it available.
So what you're saying is on Saturday, you could have all 30 if you bought the other package?
Yeah, through to the Reeve, on the Sunday, you would have all 30. Saturday, you would have no availability.
But if you bought the $50,000 package, you're gonna have availability on 30 on Saturday, correct?
There's a much greater potential.
Okay. Council?
Myself, I like the gold package 15,000 better. I don't think the dinner is necessary. I think we can just go to the tent. The ministers can come there. They can see the show.
Well, the problem with the minister, he's not coming on Sunday to go home. He's coming on Saturday to go to an air show and then going home on Sunday, if you're lucky enough for him to stay overnight. Any minister I ever seen came on a Saturday, not on a Sunday.
most of the guys don't stay overnight, they just come in and they leave.
So if we have ministers coming in, if we're gonna bring ministers into the air show, well, they're not gonna be here for Sunday, so it doesn't matter what package we have. So. Any other discussion or?
Basically saying we kind of need to go with the 50,000.
Well, I'm not saying anything, but it's just, it's kind of the hand we're dealt, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to buy two packages that are gold with 60, but we'd be sitting out on the tarmac with in a lawn chair with the ministers, like, I don't care where I sit, but you're not gonna bring a minister all the way from somewhere and have him sit in a lawn chair on a, when there's a VIP package available. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
If I may, through the Reeve, we have, I'm noticing if we step down to the hosting package, the 37,500, we drop out our display space and logo. Oh no, the logo's still on the swag. But we drop out of some of the advertising, but we still have everything except the VIP tour goes from 6 down to 4, but it still includes the Silver Chalet. It still includes 4 tickets to the Wing Commander's tent and dinner. And it still includes a VIP tour for 4, so it's significantly less. You drop much of the advertising and you drop 2 people off the VIP tour, but it saves us 12,500.
Any things that we don't know on that?
No, I actually just received an email from the partnership operations person who came and did the talk with us. And they are saying that, just reiterating the 50K level sponsorship, and they'd be able to work with us for the Saturday, but not alluding to the gold, silver, bronze level packages. And I hear what you're saying about the advertising opportunities associated with that package. It's something that we could definitely fire back a few emails and see if we could because they do customized packages, but from what we've been dealing with them, it seems like this level is where we're going to get what we require.
Yeah. So have you talked to them specifically about the hosting package, which is still up in that group of packages, but just it's the,
Yeah, we haven't spoke about the hosting package, just based on that drop on the tour and that, as you said, you know, with regards to the marketing aspect of it, you know, we can definitely throw that question at them, but the focus has been on the historical donation of the 50,000 sponsorship opportunity.
Yes, Councillor DeShane.
Thank you to the Reeve. Yeah, in light of what we're dealing with the ministers and stuff, my screen is down too, but I'm, the last two, hosting deals for entertainment and that, I don't think we need to have more than 2 reps at the luncheon or the tent, but the amount of people we can get to the, to what we're going to attend there, I think it's not worth the 50,000, but I'd be happy to see one of the bottom 2, the 37 or the 25 at the most, as long as we're represented at the table with the wing commander and the ministers by somebody from our council. That'd be great. We'd be happy with that, I believe.
Yeah, I got it.
Why don't we just wait for some more information? Let's ask that question before we make that motion, Councillor DeShane, because it might not include any tickets on Saturday. So we'll be doing all this thing for nothing if we, you know, nobody will be going to the show, right? So,
I think what they're looking for today is a budgeting amount.
Yes.
So they can work with something. We budgeted for 50,000 in our previous budget. I think we should just go ahead with that and let administration try to negotiate, you know, wherever we're going and bring it back to us.
well, it's up to council. Anyone, like,
Because right now, if we don't book it now, somebody else will, and then we're,
I'm just saying later in the meeting if you wanted to.
Yeah.
What does council want to do? Yes, Councillor Amalia, go ahead.
I would prefer I think it's called, mine just disappeared. The hosting package for 37.5. But I would go along with, if that is not available, then as said, we did budget the 50,000, but they changed some packages up as what we get for that. So yeah, I would be willing to go with that if that's what it takes to get the ministers there on the Saturday. And
I know at first we were just talking about, never mind the VIP tour or the dinner, we were just talking about tickets. Unfortunately, that option's not available for us, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you do a little bit of homework and we come back later in the meeting and discuss this some more? Like talk to whoever you
For
gotta
Reeve
talk.
Kalinsky, I will ask about the hosting package and see where we can kind of land there and then bring it back to council.
Okay, that'd be good before we make any kind of a motion here.
Okay.
Is that okay with council?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, we have a delegation coming up. Let's take a couple minutes here
Excuse me,
before the
Mr. Reed?
delegation comes in and we'll take a,
Sure. That's all.
Sure, we're good?
good? Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
We have the information already? We need a motion first? To reconvene? Or to? Okay, throw it up on the screen, please. All right, who would like to make this motion? Councillor Amalia? Thank you for making this motion. The council approves the request by Four Wing for the funding support for the 2026 Cold Lake Air Show in the amount of 37.5 plus GST as recreation level sponsors to be funded from the 2026 council grants and individual and non-government organizations council giving budget. Council, any discussion on this? Yes, Councillor Crick.
So what does this give us for tickets for the Saturday?
I'd say 15.
15, okay. And I've heard that the premier might be coming to the show too, so
But she's,
that'll be enough.
she'll be a guest of the wing commander.
Oh, okay,
She'll be on the next one over.
okay. Okay, sounds good.
Any other discussion?
Just to confirm, so this will not change the amount of people we can have in the tent?
Through to Councilor Fideo, correct. They are willing to open up those 15 in the tent for the Saturday.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion, council? Okay, I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote.
Excuse me, Mr. Eve?
Yes.
We just have to adjust the motion to have the proper sponsorship label on it. So just one moment, please.
Okay. We'll wait for that. Are you okay with that, Mr. Amalia? That doesn't seem like a change to me yet.
Through to the Reeve, it just changed the name from recreation to hosting level sponsor.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Are you all right with that, Mr. Amalia? All right, any other discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote now. That's carried. Thank you. Mr. Bespalko, welcome. Thank you. I got a story to tell about Mr. Bespalko. No, it's about his lovely wife. She got hit with a puck years ago in a hockey game and just about cost her life. She got it in the windpipe, and then we played on the same team, so when Mr. Bespalko wasn't there, she would kindly ask me to sit beside her during hockey games because she was so scared to get hit. And in the days we played, there was no netting. So we were at a game, and I sit beside her, and what's your daughter's name? I can't remember. Shailene. She won a package to go shoot the puck at center ice, and so she goes, Mr. Kalinsky, can you please shoot for me because we want to win this? I says, absolutely. So I go down to the ice and I look across in the back and it's Ricky Michaud. And I'm like, well, I'm going to beat Ricky Michaud here, no problem, right? So I start shooting and Ricky beat me 7. He got 7 pucks in to my 5 or something. And yeah, so I had to go explain that I lost to Ricky. So Ricky beat me that time. But yeah, well, welcome here. And just hit your button and the mic will come on. There you go.
There we go. Testing, testing. Please do not adjust your set. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, you've taken me back in time when our boys played hockey here with the Junior A Pontiacs. And I want to thank the Reeve Council for allowing me to come and present on behalf of the Northeast Alberta Information Hub, which is the Regional Economic Development Alliance. We're fondly known as Alberta Hub. For the councillors that don't know about me, I grew up just south of here, County of Two Hills. And not to age myself, I graduated in 1978 from Derwent and Murnum and left to pursue other activities. But like my dad told me a long time ago, you smarten up, you came back to the best place to raise a family. So it's great to be back. So I'm very familiar with rural Alberta. The first slide is up. Again, we're the Regional Economic Development Alliance. Catherine, if I can ask you to advance to the next slide. Basically, the Alberta Hub is made up of 48 members right now, 35 municipalities, First Nations, Métis settlements, because what we're all trying to do is attract investment and, of course, support our existing businesses because they're the ones that pay taxes, employ people, and basically provide funds for a better quality of life for our residents. So all total, we have 48 members, and we are governed by a board of 13 that represents each category of members within our organization. Next slide, please, Catherine. The focus of regional, of course, is the key to get people walking and talking and working together across boundary lines. And of course, the benefits include networking, more to sell, and saving members money and time. And that's what the focus is. Next slide, please. Currently, Alberta Hub is one of 9 regional economic development alliances across Alberta. We are currently core funded by Jobs, Economy, Trade and Immigration, and that is Minister Scal. And as the Reeve and Council are fully aware, the government is pulling funding from the RETAs. We're entering our last year. The government's direction is basically centralizing resources. The reason Alberta Hub and the rest of the RETA started back in 2000 was the government at the time saw the value of working with a local organization providing us or providing barriers or opportunities. However, that direction has changed. So as of March 31st, 2027, the government of Alberta will cease to provide any type of funding. Of course, each member contributes financially. The MD of Bonnyville, along with the 35 or 34 other municipalities, Métis, settlements, and First Nations, all pay a per capita. And of course, just recently at the AGM, the per capita was increased to $1, and I'm very grateful for the MD of Bonnyville that supported this change in per capita. As well as all the other members, because they do see the value in working regionally together. And of course, Alberta Hub is grassroots driven. All projects that we focus on enabling investment, getting back to my previous comment, supporting existing businesses with opportunities, as well as attracting new investment. Because ladies and gentlemen, the world has changed. When I left here in 1978, there was no oil per se. It was still around the Lloydminster area. We had rail, we had elevators. I still remember driving our old Fargo truck to town and hauling grain. So the agricultural industry has changed, all industry has changed, and it's a case of understanding what do these companies and how we move forward in the future. Next slide, please. The strategic goals of Alberta Hub, I mentioned enabling investment, business support, entrepreneurship, enhance community readiness for investment, and I want to congratulate the MD of Bonnyville. I've been doing this since 2011, and the work that the MD Council have done over the years to be investment ready is pretty impressive. But again, it's being aware of the changes and working with Scott and Lisa in your economic development department. Scott's experience, he's same vintage as I am, you've done phenomenal work. And of course, the big thing is marketing, because there are 300 or so other communities across the province, all basically trying to do the same thing we are. So what is our value proposition? Answering the question, why the Alberta Hub region, why the MD of Bonnyville? And of course, we don't work in silos. We align ourselves with different government departments, Ag and Irrigation, Invest Alberta, Innotech Alberta, and of course, I know the council is very aware of the Alberta Transportation Economic Corridors, the commodity flow map, and understanding how freight movement and commodities are moved across our region. And of course, we have tourism. I mean, I'm sitting in one of the most pristine regions of Alberta when it comes to tourism. And I know I've drowned a lot of worms and washed a lot of hooks in my life. So that's how I look at it. Next slide, please. Further to the enabling investment, again, understanding we're grassroots driven, understanding the needs of the MD of Bonnyville, and of course matching it to the other members in our organization. And it's amazing how much we have in common, not what separates us. And I work from Athabasca County in the northwest to the County of Vermilion River in the southeast. And it's amazing we all have those common interests. I mentioned about collaborating with the other government departments and support business when it comes to industry development and information. Marketing is critical here. Something that we're very proud of by working together. When a member or when a municipality becomes a member of Alberta Hub, you automatically receive close to $16,000 worth of marketing information. That's profile development, investment fact sheets, because investors want to know where my labor comes from, what the cost of labor is, and tell me why this is a good place to invest. And that's what we focus on. Next slide. Business support and entrepreneurship, of course, I don't work in a silo. I work very closely with Chambers of Commerce, Community Futures, because they play an intricate role in what we are trying to do. I forward out information on funding and grant opportunities, startups, get calls. Today, I don't know if the council is aware, of course, we lost the Windsor salt plant in the county of St. Paul. And it's amazing that there's technology that you can produce power out of salt. And that's the technology and the investors they are looking at. So I'm close to hopefully providing St. Paul County with some success in regards to that, because again, I work with site selectors across Canada and the US and touch into Europe, which they are looking at Canada/Alberta, and they want to know what do we have, because ladies and gentlemen, the world is changing at the speed of sound, you might say, how work is being done, and of course, supply chains. And a previous presenter talked about aerospace, which I'll touch on further. But these major companies are really looking at shortening their supply chains because it's just too fragile when you're trying to move equipment or parts across a lot of different countries. Next question. Next slide, please. Community capacity and building, investment readiness. When a call comes in, are you ready to rock and roll? And again, I commend Scott and his team, because the MD of Bonnyville does respond quickly, because the team has really taken care of putting information together. Again, the value proposition of MD of Bonnyville, you know, energy, aerospace, forestry, tourism. But again, we can't be everything to everybody, and that's what the focus is. It's very important to also understand that every department in the MD of Bonnyville is connected to economic development. Information is in every one of those departments that we need in order to do. And basically, Scott's role, my role, is to facilitate and ensure that information can be given accurately and at the speed of sound, to press a button. Because when we take time to put information together, time is money. And investors say what they're impressed with our websites, that our information is current and accurate, and that's what they're after. Marketing materials, I spoke to the different profiles because, again, access to market. And right now, with the price of oil jumping up, the price of gasoline and diesel, I can only imagine what the cost is going to do, because all of our freight that we have here comes by truck. That's how it comes in. So again, we have to be very aware of the costs on transportation. So when we put these things together, of course, it is all subject to funding, and hopefully we're always keeping our fingers crossed that we have this funding. Next slide, please. The industry sectors across the region, of course, oil and gas. Oh, put your mic back on, Bob. Oil and gas is across our region. Of course, we're sitting on the Cold Lake oil sands. We also sit on the Athabasca oil sands, and to the west of us, in the Lamont County, Athabasca, Smoky Lake, they are producing conventional oil, not the bitumen that we extract out of the ground by the CHOPS method or SAGD or what they mine in Fort McMurray. Agriculture, agri-food is also a growing industry right now. A lot of people are looking at, you know, the greenhouse, producing vegetables. And of course, this ties into the aerospace, because businesses can bid on contracts at CFB 4 Wing to provide food for their industry and their people. Aerospace technology and defense, with the Clean and Green and the Future Fighter program and the billions of dollars that are being invested, and I know the MD Council, Reeve, you're fully aware of what's happening there. And then, of course, tourism, forestry, location dependent, north side of the MD, as well as Athabasca, renewable energy and manufacturing. And of course, that list is subject to change without notice. You know, recently there was a lot of announcements on a lot of things. The MD is being looked at, and part of our job is, you know, staying on top of it. Next slide, please, Catherine. Aerospace, that's what I wanted to touch on because of what I mentioned earlier. You know, we are home to CFB 4 Wing. The east side of Alberta, we have Suffield in the south, we have Wainwright, and of course we have Fort Edmonton, which are Army bases. And then, of course, we have CFB 4 Wing, the biggest, the largest in Canada. And, of course, with the focus on the north right now and the trouble of the world, so this base is being looked at as the base for expansion. Again, working with Scott and Lisa, the major primes are rolling in, support for the F-35s. Arkfield has set up a warehouse. So again, it comes to understanding their supply chains and understanding what can our manufacturers that you've been producing a widget for oil and gas, do you have the technology to pivot and produce a widget for us? So right now, we've been promoting the construction side, making sure our businesses can grab a piece of the action on the new hangar that's being built for the F-35s, the housing that they're doing. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I also do want to highlight that Lloydminster is working to get their air service back because they lost WestJet, and of course the city of Cold Lake, because right now businesses are looking at setting up in Calgary because that's the closest they can get to by flying into the MD of Bonnyville and CFB Cold Lake. So air service is critical moving forward and getting it here. So hopefully with the support of businesses and these companies that are rolling in, air service. I know we have chartered flights, but they're also looking at daily service to get that in. That's a priority. Next slide, please, Catherine. Of course, with all this big announcement, Alberta Aviation, Aerospace and Defense Association, they used to be just aviation and aerospace, or aviation. Now they've added aerospace and defense. It's an organization Alberta Hub is involved in. And of course, just recently, Edmonton Region just announced that they put together a defense alliance. And that includes, of course, communities around the city of Edmonton, their universities. And here in the Hub region, of course, we have Portage College that has collaborated with the city of Cold Lake on their aerospace maintenance program. And so we're getting a lot of attention. Again, there's bits and pieces happening with a few people here, or a few members. So my job is to pull it all together and create that cluster that allows companies to understand what we're doing here. And labor is a critical feature here. We're talking engineering. So the STEM and the STEAM, the science, technology, and our kids today coming out of school, again, when I grew up, I think I grew up, agriculture, arithmetic and spelling is what I needed in order to do it today. Now kids need to know coding and writing programs, because that is the way of the world. That's just how it's going. Next slide, please. So basically, we're positioning the Alberta Hub region, strategic location for all the reasons I mentioned before. And of course, Alberta Hub for the last 2 years is working on a drone project. UAVs, drones are basically doing the dull, dangerous, dirty work, getting away from humans doing it, and of course, taking the place of helicopters. But of course, as usual, Canada, and I might go on a limb here when I say that, we seem to put red tape and create problems that other countries are passing us by. So basically, drones are coming in. Apex is already using drones to monitor their pipelines. ATCO is using it to monitor their grids. But again, beyond visual line of sight. I can't fly that drone further than I can see it. However, now the Air Market that we're working with is a company that is working with Transport Canada and NAV Canada to prove that I can fly that drone in the same airspace as an aircraft, a manned aircraft. Now, drones can only fly up to 400 feet, and hopefully someday the same airspace. We did a test flight from Andrew to St. Paul, and we launched that drone, and of course they followed it with a truck because we can't fly it beyond visual line of sight. And the drone was doing pretty good, and then it detected a bogey. They said it was an airplane, and that drone dropped 300 feet, followed safety protocol, circled, and when the bogey passed, it went back up. I really thought they were going to kill a lot of geese because that was in September, and there was a lot of geese around that time there. So again, it's an indication of doing applied research, proof of concept, to take it the next step. If I can get the next slide, Catherine. The project was basically doing this, vertiport design. These drones don't need a runway. They land vertically. So again, working with Scott on the airport project, companies want to know if they can land that drone, it's secure, and then the power set up, and then that drone can continue on. We have created routes where drones can fly. Now, we cannot fly a drone over any populated area. We bypass farmyards, we bypass cell towers, we'll profile a highway. So we have to be very sure that we're doing it safe. And people are getting used to it. You know, there have been some indications, but whether it's an airplane or a drone, same difference. So infrastructure, impact study, and the last point there, I put in jargon that is above my pay grade. We work very closely with Arium Analytics and GIS companies that put this all together. Next slide, please. Basically, I put up a map of the drone routes that we've established, Andrew to St. Paul, connecting to Lac La Biche, you know, going up to Bonnyville and to Cold Lake. Hopefully this year, working with Arium, we brought a cargo drone was brought in from Latvia, and we are planning to do a test flight with an oil company, because talking with Imperial Oil, they get about a semi-load of freight a day, 5 days a week. They want to get down to 3. They want to get the rubber off the asphalt, and they want to deliver freight by drones, because as the council knows, some of these sites are pretty remote, and if I don't need a truck, roads, or anything like that. So we've developed 20 routes, and if we get funding on our next project, we want to develop more, and then again, establish those routes that are very important to business and industry. And it's unique how this industry is changing, because you picture one drone flying freight, or do you see a swarm of drones bringing in freight? And again, safety, dangerous works that is taking away from humans. Next slide, please. On the flip side, of course, there's barriers to growth in our region and broadband. Getting back to the drones talk to the radar systems via cell frequencies or broadband. So again, we need to create a foundation that all industry can provide or wants to move forward with, and broadband coverage is very, very critical. We have high business operational costs. I don't need to talk to this crowd or to the Region Council about the high cost of electricity on our distribution rates. And folks, it's like they're penalizing us. So we talk about the harmonization rates. And I was on a panel last week or the week before in Lac La Biche with Minister Jean, and I mentioned this, and he looked at me and says, well, Bob, be prepared for some good news in the near future. I do not know what that means, and I'm hoping they do not penalize us for rural Alberta because we live distances away, that we should be penalized. And I know the Region Council is aware of the NAGO group, because Alberta Hub is not a lobby group because we're still being paid by the government. But once the government removes its funding, we can become a lobby group if the members so be it. And I'm very grateful for the NAGO group that is taking that forward. Access to capital is another barrier to growth in our region. I've talked to a few manufacturers throughout our region, and if they said, Bob, if my business was set up in Nisku or Strathcona or around Edmonton, you could probably add $40 to $50 million more to what I'm worth. But because we're in rural Alberta, the major real estate companies or site selectors, they do not want to own a piece of land in St. Paul. And they've told me that directly. It's just the focus of rural versus urban that we really need to focus on. The other thing I wanted to highlight to the Region Council is the commodity flow map and the formalization of economic corridors. I don't want to bring up this, but it's unfortunate that Highway 28 didn't get highlighted more in regards to its status and the value it brings to the province, not only to the oil industry, agricultural industry, but now to the aerospace. So I don't know what the issue is, but I know Alberta Hub and its members have made it clear to the government, we want our fair share as well. And when I do the math on why Highway 11 or Highway 3 is being twinned, it kind of makes me wonder how those decisions are made. But I'm going on a tangent right now, and I'll stop because I could get in trouble. I didn't ask if the press was here. And I know the government, again, getting back to the north, they want to do there's another highway, 686, west, north, or
Grand
east.
Prairie.
Yeah, in that region there. But if we can't look after the current highways that we have, and we're building more, this is going to put on more pressure. And I want to thank Councillor Fadave, who is sitting on the NAGO group regarding the highways and the information we're collecting to make sure the right information is getting to the right people, and hopefully that makes a difference. Next slide, Catherine, please. So basically, in a nutshell, diversifying the regional economy to increase wealth in our communities is what my focus is, along with the members. And again, I want to thank Reeve and Council for this opportunity. I know I skimmed over quite quickly. I could probably sit here for another hour and a half with what's going on, but I know how precious everybody's time is. So thank you again for your time. And if you have any questions, I'm here to hopefully answer them.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer.
Bob, I was sitting here this morning or at home eating my breakfast and scrolling on my iPad, and all of a sudden an announcement from the Alberta government regarding a master railway plan. Have you any information on that? Is that possibly why our Highway 28 isn't getting the interest that it should?
Well, Councillor Palmer, forgive me what I'm going to say, dear Lord. I don't think this is going to be a shock to anybody, but the focus is votes. When I speak, because I work with the bureaucrats in the Alberta Transportation Department, elected official to elected official, and they look at movement of people, and I keep telling the government, and I go back to the story when I was hauling grain to town for Dad in an old Fargo truck. I took 10 to 20 loads a day, and I'm exaggerating a bit. Now the Super Bs, we've cut the amount of loads in half, but the dollars on that highway, and the government is viewing the rail service, Highway 2, the passenger vehicle traffic. I wish they put more emphasis on industry traffic, and Highway 28 is exactly that. I'll use the town of Bonnyville. The intersection, the first set of lights that you hit when the big loads come in and they could go up 41, if I'm not mistaken, that intersection was built to handle about 3,500 to 4,000 cars a day. There was at times we were hitting 15 to 16,000 before 2014. Now, when you throw in school buses and ambulances and jet fuel on that same highway, that's the part that concerns me. I don't want to put the emphasis on dollars all the time, but when you have a load of kids going to school and you know that's on that highway better be able to support that. And I think that's what the government is missing. It's not only, the amount of loads, but it's the type of commodities on there. So, the metrics, and Gerard, one of the senior engineers I work with in Alberta Transportation, he just sent me a PowerPoint presentation that they use to pitch to the minister and how to prioritize which highway. That was dated 2014. So it causes me to wonder, is just like me here before the Reeve and Council, providing you the right information at the right time to make a right decision or a reasonable decision. And I think the government right now is very negligent on not understanding what is happening in rural specifically and how these regions are changing. So, Councillor Palmer, I apologize for the long-winded answer, but the rail is to move those people. It's Calgary to Banff, Calgary to Edmonton, rather than looking at Highway 36 and 41 to take the strain off Highway 2, because now you're going up to 120 clicks an hour and you want to triple that? A lane? I don't know, folks. Something just doesn't jive for me. So, again, it's focusing on getting that right information to the government, to those decision makers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well, thank you, Mr. Bismalko. A great presentation.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for all you do, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, and thank you for reminding me about hockey. I appreciate that, Mary.
The good old days. All right, just looking for a motion, council. Yes, thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making that motion. The council accepts the presentation by Northeast Alberta Information, the hub, Alberta Hub as information. Any discussion, council? All right, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. No, you wait, you need us to do, you're down again? It's good? You're in favor? Okay. That's carried, thank you. Okay, on to 9.3.1. Morning.
Good morning, Council. For you today, I have policy number C-1.010, Councillor Committee and Board Member Remuneration Policy Amendments. So this policy came due for its annual review in January, and administration has prepared an amending draft for Council's consideration. Proposed amendments to this policy are to reflect the 2026 remuneration rates for the members of Council. The Committee of the Whole reviewed this amending policy on February 17th, 2026, and are recommending that Council adopt the document as presented. Since the Committee's review, administration has also added one proposed amendment under Section 2A to enhance clarity with respect to member-at-large remuneration rates. The policy showing the proposed amendments is attached as Appendix A for your review. And administration is just looking for a motion from council today. The recommended action is that council adopts amending policy number C-1.010, Councillor Committee and Board Member Remuneration Policy as recommended by the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Council, Deputy Reeve?
Yeah, thanks. Just going to add some history, some clarity, hopefully, to this policy. There's a lot of confusion out there. So basically what was happening before we were getting paid our remuneration, salary plus the remuneration, we're dealing with exactly the same thing that Lac La Biche is dealing with right now. They went from remuneration to salary. They increased their council rates to 65, 475. Their deputy was 71.4. And their reeve went to 110. For all the same reasons, we adjusted our salary from remuneration to salary 6 years ago. The only part that we fell short on was the value we put on council. Basically, before, council members on remuneration were getting between 80 and 100 plus per year, and we brought that down to 50. The unfortunate part, I think we dropped it down too far. Right now, it's more of a realignment to it. So basically, what was happening in those 6 years, we had a 30% tax retrieval from that. So we're the feds, because we're doing government work, then taxes on 30% of it. That came into play as well. So then the 50 mark, we never found a good time to realign it in the last 6 years. In the last 6 years, we always, council always found a way that it's not the right time, and it's not the right time to increase that until we get a notice from municipal affairs that we're in, there's a flag done, and they're talking about how serious is council taking their jobs if they're not considering a proper wage. So right now, we're at the 37th percentile at 50, so having an increase to the adjusted levels right now to 63, 100 per month, it brings us to the 60th percentile, and we see that with our fellow members at Lac La Biche, where they did do that. So the phone calls I received was basically people are thinking we're getting paid our salary plus the meetings, and it's not. So on here, thanks for clarifying that. So it is meeting rates for council-appointed board and committee members. So basically, it is people like on FCSS, ex-service board, and things like that. Anybody that's on public at large will get paid those extra meeting charges council does not get paid that. So hopefully that clarifies it, Reeve. Yeah,
Yep.
so. Mr. DeShane remembers those days of getting paid by the meeting and why we adjusted it to the thing, and I think we just adjusted it too far back.
Yes, I remember a term ago, and there was some pretty high wages being brought in, and I felt they were uncalled for, and I was kind of glad they changed it to this system of pay remuneration, and set us back to a normal salary. The way some of this is worded may be misunderstood, yes, but I can tell you we're down, some of the council members were probably 30,000 above this easily, just going on the old system. So the salary system does help us. I don't agree with the raise personally, but nothing I can do about that. This is what's called for and what's being brought forward. Thank you.
Councillor Palmer?
Just looking on clarity on that 30%, that's no longer available through the Revenue Canada, correct?
No, that was scaled back about, I think almost 6 years ago, almost 6 years
So
ago.
then you went from the per diem format. and
To the
went
salary.
lower To the salary.
Minus,
And then now as well, council lost that 30% through the income tax process.
they did, yeah. So
We went to salary about 4.5 years ago, correct?
about almost 6.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Councillor Mullion?
Yeah, so those two separate things, council changed from remuneration to salary approximately 4 years ago, whatever that was. But yeah, the tax change came into effect January 1st of 2019, so 7 years ago now. And that, there used to be a 1/3 exemption for all municipal councilors and school board trustees. So essentially, they considered that 1/3 as remuneration. And so 1/3 of your income was not taxable. And then that was removed again, starting January 1st, 2019. And depending on individual tax situations, it essentially meant that when you removed that 30% tax free and whatever your personal tax rate was, but it was approximately a 10% salary decrease by just simply the government doing that.
Yeah, well, for me, the concern is coming from municipal affairs that we're in the 37 percentile mark, right? So we see a lot of, I can really understand their concerns where there's a lot of municipalities that have on the verge of going bankrupt. You're looking at the town of Gibbons where they're pretty well handing in their keys. So I mean, they don't want us to go there because it's going to cost the province a lot more money. So I understand their flags, but unfortunately, it's a review that we've looked at every single year. Ms. Severin, she's like, she pointed for us. This is a yearly review, and we've kept bumping it and saying no to it because there's always a wrong time. It's never a great time to get a raise, but when we went from 100 to 50, it was different.
Sorry. Councillor Palmer, then Councillor Crick.
Through the Reeve to Deputy Reeve, can you go through those numbers again from Lacabiche, and have they actually approved that?
Yes, so Lacabiche has been talking about for the last 2-3 weeks, and the motion that was approved, I believe last week was that. So the numbers for council were 65,475. The deputy was 71,429, and the Reeve went to 110,143.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Councillor Crick.
Yeah, sorry, I missed those numbers. You mind repeating that one more time? Because I had some numbers too. I didn't know if they're.
Yeah, so council
Yeah.
is, for Lacabiche, is 65,475. The deputy went to 71,429. And the Reeve went to 110,143.
Okay. They just approved that.
They just approved that, yes.
Wait, yeah, because when I looked up the Lac La Biche audited financial statements, and they were at 86,888, what it said on their on the audited financial statements. And Sturgeon County was around 86,000 as well. I had a couple calls on this too. So just a couple of things I wanted to make mention of. You know, going back to, I went through the audited financial statements from 2014 all the way up to the current. And the average counselor salary from like, say, 2015 was just over 60,000. If a guy was to add 2% to that every year, it would be pretty close to where we're putting it right now. I also had a few people wondering about how many meetings we had a month, and they wondered if there was 1 or 2 or 3 council meetings a month. So I actually kept track of my hours just after the election, and it was right around 40 hours a week, some 35, 43, 44, somewhere in there, the amount of hours I was putting in. And I'll be the first to admit that's not hard physical labor. I used to do roofing for work, and I still enjoy roofing. This is not the same physical, but mentally it's challenging. And then everyone in council sits on approximately 6 or 7 boards and committees. So like I'm on the BRFA board. We have monthly meetings. FCSS have monthly meetings. Bonneville Library Board have monthly meetings. Lakeland Lodge and Housing, we have monthly meetings. I'm on the Northern Lights Library System Board. That one meets quarterly, and then on the Bonneville Regional Water Service Commission, and that one meets quarterly as well. And then there's other events and things to go to, so it is a big time commitment. I can argue both ways on the salary change, and this was discussed in depth during budget deliberations in November, which is committee of the whole meeting, which is open to public, and then it was brought to committee of the whole. It was actually approved in the budget, this pay increase. So it was brought to committee of the whole, last committee of the whole meeting, and recommended to go to council for approval. Because it's approved in the budget, it's already in effect as of January 1st. And I think Councillor Fadeev did a great job explaining the way the old pay structure used to work. There was, I won't even get into that. You did a great job explaining that, how there was pay for a base salary, and then pay for the meetings. And when you look online at the document that I'm sure most people that are here have seen, there's the pay per meeting is only for non-council members that are appointed to council boards, like the Ag Service Board or the FCSS or other ones. So I think, I think it's in line. I think it's in line with fair practices, and I think everyone on council puts a lot of time in. I did have some concerns that the salary could allow people to not do their job, but I don't think that's the case with this council. I think everyone's working pretty hard here. And I guess if it did become an issue, we could switch it back to a pay per meeting and deal with the issue, but I don't think that's a problem. I think we have a great council here. There was one other thing I was going to mention here. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that for now. Thanks.
All right.
Well, you know what? I did remember.
Yep, go ahead.
I had said I could argue both ways. So my fundamental concern sometimes when raising government wages is that you'll get people running just for the money. And I mentioned that to a few people that had concerns with this, and the response I got back to them was, well, you want good people in there, so you kind of have to compensate them appropriately. And then the one other concern I had was, I'd heard was there should be some more transparency. So I think the fact that there's been a lot of questions about this is maybe just, I think we do a good, this council is a great council, as I said, but I think maybe we can try and just be transparent. I think we're all trying anyways, but maybe there's a room for improvement there, and if we can figure something out just so that the public understands the system. And I'll admit it's a little bit confusing. You go on the audited financial statements and you see the different numbers, and it's different accounting ways the way they're presented. But on the audited financial statements, the salary is what councillors are paid, and there's another portion for benefits and allowance and travel, because that's an extra on top of the salary, and that's basically reimbursements of hotels, meals, paid for mileage. Yeah,
Yeah, like with the transparency part of it, I mean, when everybody was getting, paid large and everybody's going to committees that they weren't even on, that was all very transparent as well. And nobody had an issue with that. And it's the same thing that Lakovich is running into. They just found that they can actually save money by putting it on salary, because then counselors weren't going to other conferences just to get their per diems, right? This way they're saving costs on the conference, I guess, costs and everything else. So it's fair, and I think it's a good way to go. So I'd like to make the motion to pass this. Be option number 1.
All right, thank you, Deputy Reeve Fadea, for making this motion that council adopts amending policy number C 1.010, Councillor Committee and Board Member Remuneration Policy as recommended by the Committee of the Whole. Any discussion on this motion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. You're not coming up either? Josh? You're in favor? Okay. Anyone else's screen didn't come up? Are you in favor? Did you get that? Caroline? All right, that's carried. Thank you.
This is the same vote that Lakovich did 6-1.
All right, on to 9.4.1. Morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Good morning, Reuben Council. So I am back today with policy number 2C.032, Human Resources Management Policy, which has seen an amendment. Administration has amended the policy for council's review and consideration. For council's information and discussion, minor administrative amendments have been made to this policy. These include updating the responsible administering department from corporate services to CAO office, revising the legislative reference wording by adding Alberta once in the statutes rather than repeating it before each act, code, and regulation, and adjusting the policy review cycle from every 5 years to every 4 years. Administration recommends that council adopts amended policy number C-2C.032, Human Resources Management Policy, as recommended by the committee of whole.
Thank you. Councillor Crick?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if we can make an amendment to the policy. I know I should have done that at committee of the whole, but I didn't. I kind of missed it then. In section 2, it says the MD will establish and maintain a work environment that ensures, and then point 2 there is diversity and inclusion in the workplace. I wonder if we can just take out the diversity and just have it say it'll inclusion in the workplace, because it includes everybody that way, but we don't have to ensure diversity. If people are qualified, they are welcome to hire. We don't discriminate in that way, but I don't think we need to have it ensuring diversity.
I don't think it's a big deal. I think this is saying that, I mean, we've never done that. We've never.
I know.
This is not a, right? So I think the diversity, I think it's a good thing, is it not? I mean,
There's nothing wrong with it, but I just don't like the idea of putting it in policy where we're pushing for diversity, equity, inclusion, having targets. I read an interesting article last night on the National Post about the federal government having targets and universities having targets and disqualifying white males from job openings.
I think federal and provincial are different. We're municipal. I mean, diversity could be, more females in the workplace, right? I mean, it's not as if you're not specifically talking about a certain group. You're talking being diverse to everybody. We have a diverse council now with a female counselor here, right? I mean, that's what we're promoting. We're promoting the diversity. It's not just, and that's, so I guess it all depends on your definition of diversity. I think it's okay, and we do a good job of it.
What does council think? You're good the way it is, Mr. Amalia? You're good, there's three, Ed or Mr. Klug, are you good the way it is?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, okay, well, we have 4 out of 3 already, so you're overturned. Okay. Looking for a motion now?
Councilor Palmer.
Sorry, yeah, my screen went dead too. Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making that motion that council adopts amending policy number C-2C032, Human Resource Management Policy as recommended by the Committee of the Whole. Any other discussion on this?
I just want to say that I think our staff are great, and I have nothing against anyone on staff. I just didn't like the word diversity in there, so that's it.
Thank you. Councillor Amalia.
I see Josh's point. I don't agree with establishing hiring policies that require specific diversity. At the same time, this specific section is establish and maintain a work environment that ensures diversity and inclusion in the workplace. And so I'm more comfortable with it in that we will ensure that our work environment and the workplace itself would not be excluding diversity. Diversity in general is a good thing. I agree that it shouldn't be pushed and forced, but I think that our work environment shouldn't be one that would exclude diversity. And so in that way, that's kind of the way I'm reading it. So yeah, like
Good point.
as was said, it might be just a matter of how you read the policy and how you define, but.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, if there's no other discussion, I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Thanks, Sam. We're on to correspondence.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Under correspondence and information, we have 4 items. Administration is not reviewing any of the 4 items. Thus, we are done for correspondence and information for administration.
Right, any discussion on this correspondence, or someone likes to make a motion? Councillor Crick.
I'll make a motion to approve it. I just wanted to highlight that there is a letter from the RMA saving the date for their golf tournament in Lac La Biche, which I think it's a good, we should be there to represent the MD, which I'm sure we will, but there's no details yet, so it's just to save the date.
All right, thank you for that. Any other discussion on any of this? Would you like to make the motion, Councillor Crick? Yeah. Thank you, Councillor Crick, for making this motion. All right, it's not coming up for me. Moved by Councillor Crick that council accepts the following correspondence information 1 through 4 before you. Any discussion on this motion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. I'm looking for reports from members of council. Councillor Crick.
All right. Had an FCSS board meeting, Northern Lights Library System board meeting. Attended the Victoring at dinner. The Reeve put on a retreat for all the staff at his place. I attended that with my kids and didn't get paid for that, but had a great time there. Yeah, it's just thank you for doing that. And it was kind of a cold morning. I think it was minus 35 that morning, so maybe not as many people showed up. But in the afternoon, it was really nice, and everybody was there, had a great time.
And your kids are good at coming out of the hat. With their names, they're like drawn 1, 2, 3, and then about 6 or something. So they're very good
Yeah,
at getting drawn.
I think there was only 8 kids, so they had good chances.
Yeah.
Attended the Women of Influence Awards, and then also last night had a Bonnyville Library Board meeting. And 2 points from that one is there's a Friends of the Library group forming. It'll be a kind of a society to do fundraising for the library. And the town of Bonnyville, this was reported at the meeting last night, the town of Bonnyville has it in their strategic plan to build a new building, a combined library/FCSS building, to be ready for 2027. That's what I heard last night, so yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you. Councillor Amalia?
Okay, I didn't have a full slate of meetings, but other than the usual emails and phone calls, there was Ag Service Board meeting in the Ag Shop, presentations by the 4-H and some upcoming events, things like that. Economic Growth Forum in Lac La Biche, I attended with a few others from the MD staff and council, and it was a good presentation. Bob Espalka was there, sitting as he mentioned, and also Mr. Brian Jean, the mayor of Lac La Biche, and a number of other, between politics and industry and everyone else, talking about the economic development in the region and the industry. And it was a really good lesson to learn from there of what we can bring back and do here ourselves for, as Bob was talking about, the promotion of the MD and our region, and building what we can with what we've got and looking for the ways that to expand. Also attended the Reeves Retreat. I was at another event earlier in the day, so I didn't show up enough time to go tobogganing with Josh, but enjoyed the time there. And yeah, it was a good event. And I guess we did have our tax discussion retreat as well in the middle of that too last week. So yeah, nothing else really to bring forward at this time from those committees.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer?
I just have 2 to report on. The Women of Influence on last Friday, which was a very inspirational evening. Great recognitions in great categories that women were recognized in. Yesterday's meeting for Rural Policing Committee, it's always informative to meet with your 2 different detachments, the Bonnyville and the Coal Lake. Shared meetings with these detachments. I love the fact that there's no silos, there's great communication, there's open dialogue. So it ended great. And I have FCSS and Lakeland Lodge and Housing still to go through this month. That's everything.
Thank you. Deputy Reeve?
Yeah, just lots have been covered already. Just kind of want to highlight a couple things and ask Friends of the Library. How many members and how is that funded? Is it a pure volunteer group?
It's just being formed right now, so there'll be 5 members to start with. I imagine once it gets going, Scott's on the library board as well, so I kind of looked at him. Are you one of the members yeah, so Scott will be one of the members on there. Yeah, 5 of them, and then I guess down the road they can do what any society does and put more members on or change or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's a fundraising organization. It'll be a society, so they're going to do fundraising for the library.
Yeah, they did that in Coal Lake, and then after that, it was a hard time getting it to dissolve because a lot of the members weren't around anymore. So there was some issues with that, but it did work out quite well when they were doing it.
So it was brought as an information item on the agenda at the library board meeting. So there was no motion. It's not something that the library
know,
board
for
is
sure.
doing. It's
Yeah,
just separate from the board, but it was brought for information.
Yeah, just asking. Yeah, for sure. So in regards to the Women of Influence, unfortunately, I had to keep Councillor Palmer on her toes. I was doing the presentation for Community and Volunteerism Award, and the last few hours beforehand, I'm like, Miss Councillor Palmer, you're coming up with me. And she's like, what? So anyway, she did really, really well. I threw some things together for her and she adjusted them, and I was pretty impressed that she didn't adjust them too much. So I also want to talk about the lead presenter, the keynote speaker. I forget her last name, but her handle is Farmer Nicole.
Okay.
She was pretty inspiring. Basically, what they're talking about is bringing farming to the masses. Having kids understand what farming is about, and they're actually having is it a college or is it a school to teach kids about where food comes from. So one of the highlights was this little 4-year-old or 5-year-old was looking at a big combine, and he says, Farmer Nicole, why is that big machine, how? Why does the big machine suck the deer up? Because all he seen was a hopper, and he thought it was like the big vacuum that would suck up the deer side was running. And it was pretty funny. What she wanted to say is, when it comes out the other end, it's hamburger. But she didn't want to go there. But she realized that just the lack of information for urban kids to what farming was and where it was going. So right now out in the Medicine Hat area, they have a big schooling and some funding from the feds and some funding from the province. So Councillor DeShane and I were, talking about stuff, and it would be great for her to be here and do the keynotes, be a keynote speaker, either for a LARA or maybe even just an MD function, that we would bring her in and invite the whole region to see what and how things are being done on her end, because they're just grassroots and they learned a lot. And so maybe we can do some pointers on that, and the MD sponsor it. So, and then Councillor DeShane said he wanted to have that in LaCorrie. But
Hey,
yeah, it was pretty amazing.
It's funny that you talk about a deer in the combine, because there's a deer there's probably a John Deere combine, and that's.
Yeah.
So I had a lady from Europe sitting beside me, and she was asking me a question about how do we grow those things in the field? And I go, well, what things? And she says, well, they're round and they're perfectly made, and how do you guys grow them here? And I thought she was kind of joking at first, but then she wasn't, and then I had to explain to her that, we cut rows, or we cut, and then it's a machine that bales it up and makes these circle things. But she really thought we grew them, and she thought we were quite awesome the way we could grow them all over the fields like that. So she was wondering, but she didn't know.
Yeah,
So that's just how simple it is, that, we can laugh, but I'm sure there's a lot of things I could go into a city dwelling, and some of the questions would sound pretty stupid what I'd be asking them too. So I think this is a great idea to bring this lady. For any kind of, even to work with the schools, even to bring her in.
I think she's pretty crazy, smoking busy.
Yeah.
But I think, she was very, very happy to
You
come
don't
up
know
here.
until you ask.
Yeah, her sister actually works for the credit union in Bonneville or Cold Lake? In Cold Lake.
Okay, and where's
So,
she situated from?
Medicine Hat area.
Medicine Hat,
Yeah,
okay, I think
so-
you mentioned that.
Yeah, and she loves the area, she loves coming up here, seeing the different types of greens we have out there. It's either green or brown.
Yes.
She said, right? So
Two options.
She was.
Well,
So
since
again-
her sister's here, you never know, that's a bit of a pull.
It
to come
is,
here.
it is, right? So, but just let you know. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Counselor Kaluk? Did I cut you off?
That's okay.
This week, but we did have one with RUS, or C, I should say. And the big discussion was subsurface mineral survey possibly taking place on their land and a drilling pad. And the council there is debating on if they want to allow it instead of intruding on their waste sites and stuff like that. So they're not sure what they're going to do. We're going to have another council meeting on that as well.
You say it was a mineral?
Yeah.
Drill?
Subsurface mineral survey.
Okay, thank you. Caroline, I cut you off there. Did you have a question or a comment from Ben? Go ahead.
I was just going to add to Ben's statement regarding farmer Nicole. She was a teacher by trade and felt that the agricultural lifestyle was being lost, and the only way you could reintroduce it back is introducing the kids to that lifestyle. And so she actually started a mock board of directors and how they ran this farm. And her story that really resonated for me is they had a problem child in grade 5, was not doing well, had anger management issues, had social issues. He approached her one day and said, you know, Farmer Nicole, I want to be on this board. And she basically was taken back and sat him down, and do you understand that this is a contract? Do you know what a contract is? And explained to this child his commitment to this board and what it meant, that he would be involved in making big decisions and that these, you know, mental breakdowns would not be acceptable and so on. And it turned out that boy turned into a young man that went to high school with the highest level of marks. He was the one that became the one everybody went to when they wanted to know how the farm was doing. So it gave this boy a sense of purpose and moved on to high school and excelled from that point on. So there is something for everyone out there, and farming can be an option for a lot of our communities still. You can't go to school for farming. You can only expose them. So she got a 70-acre land donation where the province has given her a lot of grant funding to be able to build this building to take it to the next level. So it's big, really big. Love to see something like that here.
It's surprising. I own a farm, and how many young people from, they just want a job on the farm just to see and just to, on hands and touch and run equipment and feed the chickens or whatever. Even shovel manure from the chickens, you wouldn't believe it. You could have 2-3 guys in there shoveling, and you know, like, I'd never want to do that. But just for the experience to come and check out a farm it's bigger than we think. Yeah. Councillor Deschênes.
Thank you, to the Reeve. I attended one ASB board meeting, and we had a delegation from the 4-H Beef Club, Bonnyville District Club, and they're putting on their, I guess it's their annual show and sale and supper. I believe it's all in a package. So we'll be looking forward to the MD purchasing a beef from that club, hopefully sporting them to the max. And a Lara AGM is coming up on March 11th at the Flat Lake Hall. And I don't know who's all going to attend that from our crew, but August 6th is the Ag Service Board Tour. And we have the Ag Service Board Summer Tour Provincial set for July 14th to the 16th in Strathmore. So we'll be looking forward to that, whoever can attend. Other than that, I attended the Women of Influence gala the other night with fellow councillors, and a very uplifting to the community, and I think they do a great job promoting each other and promoting our area and each other's in each other's capacity, whatever they could contribute. So yes, and then looking forward to the Ag Service Board and Lara talking to Farmer Nicole about coming as a speaker. And yes, she's quite influential, and her farm to the table program is grown quite substantially from a farm tours to a college, so to speak. And that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Well, I think we need to get Farmer Nicole back here. We had 3 pretty big reports on her, so I think that's amazing.
I have her card. We're good.
What's that?
I have her card. We're
You
good.
do? We're
Yeah.
good to go? I guess like you guys mentioned, you guys touched on most things. We did have the tax retreat. I thought it was an awesome thing that we had that the other day, and we touched bases on a lot of things, and I thank council for that and administration for putting that, and we did a lot of good there that day. Just want to talk about the policing committee we had the other day. Yeah, it's really nice to see that all our like from our guys here at the MD to the Cold Lake to Bonnyville, they all work together very well. And it's really, and it's been getting better and better every year. And I'm very proud of that policing committee that we have. And they just tell it how it is. They just talk to us and they tell it how it is in the area. And they, you know, they're saying crime is down right now, which is great, but it's, you know, as we all know, the summer months hit, the crime probably starts rising a bit. So right now it's at check, and they're on top of a lot of things that we're all concerned about. So they work hard. They work hard, the police in our area. So I'm very thankful for them. All right, thank you, Council, for your reports. Any other statements or questions or? Yes. Go ahead, Councillor Palmer.
One thing that they pointed out yesterday at the policing committee meeting was the statistics. We read the numbers and we think that everything's on the rise, but what we're not understanding is that number is what's been taken out of the community, out of the system. I never looked at statistics that way, where, oh goodness, look at that number, but that number is actually out of the community.
So in other words, what you're saying is that when it shows that there's a certain percentage of drug whatever is, we've caught them. Well, we go, oh my goodness, we have such a drug problem in an area. Well, yeah, but now we have that much out of a percentage. So it's actually a pretty good thing when you have a high statistic like that, that we've actually, they're doing their job. So it's another way to look at it. And I, that's the first time I ever thought of it like that too.
Yeah, same
So
here. It was, you know, you have maybe 5 or 6 impaired drivers that were charged that month. So that's 5 or 6 people not on your road anymore driving impaired. Can be looked at it from that point of view too.
Yeah,
And then the learning curve that comes with that.
yeah, thank you. All right, probably let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll go into closed session.
Is there anything for closed session?
Is there anything for closed session? Well, then we
Mr.
can
Chair,
just adjourn.
you're correct.
All right, I adjourn this meeting. Thank you.